Good morning, Stampers. Kim Wolf coming to you here on Tuesday with a Tuesday tip and technique. And last week, if you recall, I showed you the Cherish card making, stamp, thin cuts, and stencils. And we made this beautiful card. And I want to continue on how to do this technique this week with, this is called the Holly Embossing Folder and Stencils. It comes with both in the pack. Very reasonable too. I think it's $9.95. I'm actually going to be doing some cards. I think I'm going to do a free class online with anyone that purchases this set in a private little group. So I'm going to be putting out the date, but you can see we've got an embossing folder and we've got two stencils. One that kind of does the leaves, and the other one, some leaves and different parts with some little berries and whatnot. So I want to show you how that works. So what I did was I ran my paper through the embossing folder already to save time. And that's just the embossing folder in that die cutting machine. And then what you want to do is there are hills and valleys. So the hills are where the bumps come on top. The valleys, they go down below. So we're going to be working with the hills side of this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my stencil, and I need to line this up, so figure out how this lines up here. So let's see, I'm going to pick an image. I've got some holly leaves, and in my camera, can't see this well with the camera, so let's look. So, wow, I didn't think it would be this difficult, or I would have checked it ahead of time. Here we go. All right, so we've got our stencil, and they're going to line up perfectly with our embossing folder. I was starting to panic there for a second. I didn't know what I was doing. So here we've got it lined up, and I grabbed, and again, you can use washi tape if you want to hold it in place, which is probably a really good idea, or I'll just use my finger. I've grabbed these blending brushes, which I just love, and I've grabbed two inks, Pine and Seabrook. So I'm going to start with Pine on my bigger leaves. And I'm going to grab, I probably should put a piece of scrap paper underneath. So let me do that. So pick this up, put my scrap paper in, and then I can go off the edges a little bit if I want to. So just make sure that you've got those lined up, because you want it to look like you're coloring them without actually worrying about each individual thing, right? So, okay, so now I'm just going to put a little bit of my pine ink on here. And again, I like to come in from the side. And I'm going to... can see where I went really on there. This is why I like to come in here and get a little bit of the ink off. And I can make it as dark or as light as I want. We had one of our stampers this weekend, Gina. I posted her card yesterday in the group, so if you haven't seen that, check that out. Her cards were stunning, and I believe she told me she used Pine and Seabrook, and I just thought they were amazing. She took some other stamps that she had and added to the top of them as far as like an image, and the ones I really liked the best were the ones where she, whoops, this is why you want to use washi tape, right? The ones where she did the gnomes. They were so cool. We're getting to the corner here, and you can see it's only going to pick up the ink where that stencil is allowing it to. All right, so I think we did good on getting it. Let's lift that up. So that's the first part. So a lot of our ink is on here, so I'll just wipe that off. I like to use a baby wipe, and then this washes right out with warm water. Very cool. So I'm going to grab the next color, and I'm going to use Seabrook. Let's see if I can find how this lines up a little bit easier than the last one. Oh, see, if I don't flip them all over the place, they line up. All right, so I've got that in place. I'm gonna do Seabrook. You could actually do a color too, which would be fun to let that offset. But let's go with Seabrook. Get into these other leaves. This is a lighter color. So I just liked the way they really offset each other. So today I'm using Pine and Seabrook. Both are actually new colors to our book this year, and really fun to work with. So the blending brush, this embossing folder and stencil, and a couple of your inks right from your stash. You could use a dauber, you could use a sponge. You don't have to use these blending brushes, but boy, are they fun to work with and so easy. All right, I think I've gotten all my edges. Oh, looks like I didn't get the center very well here. Let's get that. Take a double take. All right, and then we lift this off. And look at that piece. Oh my gosh, it is just so incredibly gorgeous. I know that the camera doesn't show it, but she put a couple of gnomes on here, and I'll post another. I think she showed me 5 of her cards that I took pictures of, so I'll be showing them, but isn't that stunning? So lots and lots of fun, super easy with the blending brushes, the embossing folder, and the stencils. And when I have information on when I'm going to hold this class, I'll let you know, but I'm going to do it out there so I have plenty of time for people to grab their own Holly embossing folder and stencils to make along with me with your own papers, your own sponges, and just have some fun and play. All right. You guys have a great day. I hope you learned something new today, and I hope you have a happy Tuesday. Bye.